The Video Game Awards have come and gone, and a new champion was crowned for 2018. But were they deserving of it? And which game did we think should have taken home the gold? This is Advanced Level, a video game podcast, and the podcast starts right now. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Advanced Level, a video game podcast. My name is Felipe Parada, and unfortunately, I don't have my co-host with me today, so I'm going at it solo. Oscar Portillo is currently unavailable. He's busy moving, so he actually sent me a text message and said, the show must go on, so here I am. We're going to be talking about the Video Game Awards and Game of the Year for 2018. Now, we had a lot of trailers. We had a lot of announcements. Video Game Awards just happened on Thursday, and sort of want to give you a little bit of a recap of all the big winners. And then again, this is not in any order. So I just wanted to start with the best student game went to Combat 2018. Best multiplayer game went to Fortnite, of course. Best sports/racing game went to Forza Horizon 4. Best strategy game went to Into the Breach. Best family game went to Overcooked 2. Best fighting game went to Dragon Ball FighterZ or Dragon Ball FighterZ, whichever way you want to call it. Best role-playing game went to Monster Hunter World. Best action/adventure game went to God of War. Best action game went to Dead Cells. Best VR went to Astrobot. Best mobile game went to Florence. Best independent game went to Celeste. Games for Impact went to, again, Celeste. Best performance went to Mr. Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan for Red Dead Redemption 2. Best audio design, Red Dead Redemption 2. Best score/music, Red Dead Redemption 2. Best art direction went to Return of Obra Dinn. Best narrative went to Red Dead Redemption 2. Best game direction went to God of War. Best ongoing game went to Fortnite. And Game of the Year went to God of War. Now, Red Dead Redemption 2 and God of War pretty much dominated the night, but I'm kind of a little bit upset that Marvel's Spider-Man didn't get anything. They're just as good. It was an amazing game, one of the best games of 2018, and they didn't pull back not one award. A little upset about that, but you know what? I'll be okay. God of War definitely deserving of Game of the Year. What Santa Monica Studios was able to do with that game, they deserve the recognition. They deserve the award. But it was very difficult because I got a chance to play all three games, and all three games were absolutely amazing. I'm currently playing Red Dead Redemption 2 right now. I can't get enough of that game. I honestly thought Game of the Year was going to go to Red Dead Redemption 2, not God of War. And, people are going to have their discussions. People are going to have their pros and cons. But now that I think about it, God of War, definitely deserving. And I had a couple of people ask me, who did I want to win Game of the Year? In all honesty, it came down to two games. I'm going to be honest. It was between Red Dead Redemption 2 and it was between Spider-Man. I played all three, God of War, Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2. And it was a difficult decision for me, even though Oscar did say God of War, his choice was God of War. And you know what, Oscar, you called it. You said God of War was going to win, even though it was your choice. But you know what? I was leaning towards Spider-Man. I love the game. The game was near perfect. As far as length, activities, unlockables. I'm still waiting to get the DLC, but I'm definitely going to pick it up. I thought it was going to be Spider-Man. But you know what? After playing Red Dead Redemption 2, my decision kind of started to sway a little bit. Red Dead Redemption 2 is an absolute phenomenal game. And of course, Rocksteady always manages to pull that off. Every time there's a new reiteration of whether it be Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto, they always manage to raise the bar. And after playing with it, I haven't beat it yet, so you don't have no spoilers. You don't have to worry about me ruining anything. I thought to myself, maybe Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to win it. It had everything. I'm still playing it. And the funny thing is, you don't even have to tackle the story in order for you to fully enjoy the game. The hunting alone, like I said, was great. The random events, the strangers, holy cow, they've managed to take an open world and really give you a different open world game. Now, let's see if any other developers or publishers decide to copy that formula. But I'm eager to see what new stuff Rockstar is going to give not only Red Dead Redemption 2, but Red Dead Redemption Online, which is currently in its beta. I've been playing it, been having a lot of fun, waiting to see exactly what they're going to do with it. I still feel it's a little lacking, but then again, I'm not going to make any decisions because it's only a beta. A lot of people have been complaining about it. A lot of people have been saying that it's going down a dark path. It's somehow going down the wrong way. Listen, it's just a beta. It's going to be fine. Look what happened with Grand Theft Auto 5. It had a disastrous launch. The online portion had a disastrous launch, and it's one of their biggest money makers. Listen, we're going to be fine. Red Dead Redemption Online is going to be okay. So you know what? God of War, you are definitely deserving of the Game of the Year. So you know what? I'm pretty sure Santa Monica is out partying, you know, and the celebration is gonna continue. I definitely want to see what they have in store for God of War, if there's any additional DLC, which I honestly hope. A lot of more games need DLC. I think it's story-based DLC, not anything, you know, regarding online. And you know what? Throwing in a battle royale patch usually does not solve all the problems. Doesn't solve all the issues. But you know what? I'm not a video game developer. There's a reason why I'm not in development. So, moving on. I wanted to touch briefly on another category. The category was named Best Ongoing Game. And we all know that Fortnite was the one that won that. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Fortnite. I'm not trying to knock them and what they were able to accomplish. But I do feel that some other games, especially No Man's Sky and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, should have gotten some sort of special recognition, right? Or there should be another category called Comeback Player of the Year. And we put all the games in that one category that pretty much underdelivered or were disappointments in the beginning, and they really, really make a gigantic comeback. And I think No Man's Sky should have gotten some sort of award / mention, because what they were able to do in the course of 2 years had and I'll say it once and I'll continue to say it. Hello Games is laying down the blueprint for developers on how they should support their games. 2, 3, 4 years later, they have done an absolutely phenomenal job supporting the game and bringing the game where I feel, or where many feel, that this was the game that we were supposed to be given 2 years ago. And I agree. You know, patch after patch after patch, we got some expansions. You know, what they were able to do was just mind-blowing. And I'm still kind of taken back. I've pumped almost 200 hours into that game, and I played it from the very beginning. Not, you know, when it first released, because let's face it, not many people picked it up because a lot of the reviews, they weren't that favorable. So being able to pick it up, being able to see how the game has evolved over time, they need some sort of special recognition. Same thing with Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. The game was pretty much unplayable at launch. It severely lacked in content and severely lacked in maps, in operators. You know, the game was extremely buggy. You know, people just couldn't play it. And now it's one of the best tactical shooters out there on the market. And I honestly think I'm going to throw another game in there. Another Ubisoft game, which is For Honor. A game that's pretty much unplayable, lacked content, and now it's really on the turnaround and people are really enjoying it. I think there should be another category added. And it was interesting to see Best Ongoing Game. And I may be misreading it. Best Ongoing Game, the amount of content that's given. I do feel that No Man's Sky should have been given some sort of honorable mention. But then again, that's just me. Now, there were a lot of announcements made during the Game Awards. A lot of good ones, a lot of, but there really weren't any blockbuster ones. The only real blockbuster one was pretty much Ultimate Alliance 3, which I knew it was in development. I knew somebody was working on it, but I didn't think it wasn't going to be Square Enix. Now, maybe I didn't read it correctly, but it didn't even say which developer it was. All it said that it was exclusive to Switch. Now, I'm glad that the Switch finally got some sort of an exclusive game, because now it'll drive sales, it'll get people to pick up the Switch. I even thought about picking up the Switch, but I think Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, or at least I'm hoping, it will be some sort of timed exclusive. Maybe 1, maybe 2 years, then bring it over to consoles, because me personally, I absolutely love the first Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Number 2, not so much. But seeing that it's actually a thing now, it's actually getting a lot of people excited. Me for one. I really honestly hope they bring it to consoles. Please bring it to consoles, and we'll see what happens from there on. Another game that was announced was some weird, well, not weird, but new Far Cry game. It's called Far Cry New Dawn, which is set, I believe, after the events of Far Cry 5. Approximately, 17 years I'm reading? Yeah, 17 years after the original Far Cry 5. New Dawn. New antagonists. It is set in post-apocalyptic Hope County. And you're going to be taking down some raiders that are called the Highwaymen that are led by two twins. It's definitely an interesting aesthetic because it's very colorful. There was a lot of reds and purples, and it really didn't look post-apocalyptic. It did. It really did look a lot like Rage 2. So it's understanding why I saw this and I was like, okay, is it a true sequel? Is it sort of like a 0.5? It's kind of like what Blood Dragon did with the Far Cry series. I really didn't know what to think of it. But you know what? If it's a good game, there hasn't been one Far Cry game so far that I've played that I haven't liked. I mean, I didn't get a chance to play Primal, which I heard was pretty good. I liked Far Cry 4, liked Far Cry 5. But seeing this iteration of Far Cry, it doesn't have a number behind it. It's just New Dawn. Leads me to think that it's just some sort of expansion. Which then again, there's nothing wrong with an expansion. Just may not be my cup of tea. What really interests me was the new game that is being developed by Ubisoft, which is some weird. It takes place 10 million years before humanity, and it's called Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey. I understand I'm thinking a little far ahead, but I'm thinking somehow they're going to link this to Assassin's Creed because that's pretty much what they've been doing recently. But you know what? It's nice to see that they're working on a different kind of game. And it seems like an educational type of game to me because you're playing as ancestors, you're playing as primates, you're probably going to witness the evolution of man. So it's interesting to see that this developer has taken that route, giving us a game, but there's some sort of education behind the game. And I notice Ubisoft has been doing a lot of that, and I appreciate their effort into trying something different. Who knows if it may work? It may work, may not. But just for the fact that they're trying, and the fact that they were able to pretty much turn around the Assassin's Creed franchise and do what they did with Assassin's Creed Origins and do what they did with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I actually did pick up my copy, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I want to wait for the holiday break, and I'm going to dive right into it. I already beat Assassin's Creed Origins, which was absolutely phenomenal. I liked how they kind of started the whole Assassin Order, and I'm really, really looking forward to playing Odyssey. But I want to sort of finish Red Dead Redemption 2 first, which I don't see that happening, but I'm going to try my best. Then there's a game called Scavengers, which is some sort of weird co-op game. I mean, they really didn't have much to say about it. All they said is that Scavengers is a survival shooter when you play nice and compete together, which is strange, which shows me that it's going to be some sort of Left 4 Dead type of experience. It's a survival shooter, which means it's playing together, working together is going to be their main draw. Then again, another game that, depending on, I need to see more. You know, the trailer was a little bit thin. It's an interesting premise. I want to see where they take it. But another game that was announced was Crash Team Racing, Nitro Fueled. And it's coming next year, roughly around June. And this is Mario Kart's direct competition. And some may even say that it's better than Mario Kart. I played the original Crash Racing, and I liked it a lot. I thought it was a very, very good racer. And seeing that they're bringing it back, and I don't know if this is a proper sequel or a remake, or I don't know. There's been very, very little information given about this game. But then again, super excited for this game. I'm definitely interested to see what they're able to do with this game. Another game that really kind of not took me back, but I was a little bit surprised on was Hello Games is working on a new title. And it's called The Last Campfire. After what happened with No Man's Sky, I honestly thought it was going to take them a while before they make another game. But seeing as what they did with No Man's Sky, really, like, I have nothing but great things to say about Hello Games, and they are sort of a blueprint as to how developers need to support their games. And seeing how they're actually working on another game, The Last Campfire, it actually looks pretty good. I mean, I don't see what exactly, they didn't really give that much information about it, but it looks interesting. And for the fact that it's from Hello Games, I want to say that I have a little bit of more faith in them because of what they were able to do. But you know what? Let's see. It looks like a different kind of game than No Man's Sky. So definitely interested to see where it goes from here. The developer of Abzu, Giant Squid, debuted The Pathless, a brand new, Asian-inspired samurai type of game. I mean, they really didn't release that much information on it, but it definitely looks pretty cool, and I definitely want to check that out. But, moving on, Obsidian. Obsidian has a new open-world single-player game called The Outer Worlds, and it looks like pretty much Fallout in space. I mean, they have the pedigree, they have the background to pretty much make this game, and it seems like where Fallout 76 has somehow failed, this game could probably succeed. And it's just a shame what happened with Fallout 76, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people have commented on this game. I haven't had a chance to play it. Some people are really enjoying it, which makes me happy, but I am really interested to know what the hell happened with that game. Really. It just seemed like it had everything going for it. Once it was released, everything just went downhill. And our friends at BioWare teased a brand new game. Some people are thinking it's some sort of Dragon Age related game. The Dread Wolf Rises. We don't know exactly what that is, but you know what? We'll see what happens. We'll definitely keep you posted, and we'll definitely try to follow this game and see what more information we can get. Shifting to a more darker tone, we have some big news for all you Mortal Kombat fans. That's right, a new Mortal Kombat game, Mortal Kombat 11, will be arriving next year, and it looks just as brutal as the previous one. I did play a little bit of Mortal Kombat 10, and it was pretty bad, but bad in a good way. So it's nice to see that they're bringing forth the next stage in Mortal Kombat, and the trailer was pretty much very brutal. It was Scorpion versus Raiden, and it was back and forth, and then Raiden kills Scorpion, and then some other iteration of Scorpion comes back, and it's more Mortal Kombat. It's more of what makes the series bloody and good, and I'm glad to see that they're coming back with another one. From there, we move on to Anthem, which, I'll be honest with you, ever since this game was first announced, it was announced by BioWare. After what had happened with Mass Effect Andromeda, I was a little bit upset, as some other gamers would clearly attest to, because we all know where the facial animators went to. The facial animators went to this game. This game looks really good, really polished, but after what happened with Mass Effect Andromeda, I am not holding my breath. The trailer premiered, and it was your standard affair shooter. There was nothing impressive about this trailer. It was just more of the same from what we saw last time. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. I have very little faith in BioWare, and I have very little faith that this game will be any good. It'll probably be good maybe 2 to 3 years afterwards, but you know what? I'm thinking that it's going to be bland. It's going to be repetitive missions. It's going to be a lot of the same, and it's standard BioWare fare. So I'm not really putting too much faith into this game, and I honestly hope to God I'm proven wrong. I really am. And from a game that I had very little interest in to a game that is slowly starting to really gain traction on my radar, we're talking about Rage 2. Now, when I played the first Rage, it wasn't all the rage that it was supposed to be. It was another Bethesda game, and it was one of those games that it started off really well. The middle was pretty good, but for some strange reason, the game didn't know what to do towards the end, and the story kind of fell apart, and the ending was just like, it was it was a letdown. I'm going to be honest. And another game that came to mind that happened to was Assassin's Creed 3. Very good beginning, very good middle, and the ending is just like, I'm convinced that some writers, they don't know where to go, and they just like, all right, let's just wrap it up and let's just keep it moving. And this Rage 2 looks like a complete departure from the first one. The first one was very apocalyptic. It reminded me a lot of Borderlands. This one is not only Borderlands, but it's like Borderlands over the top Borderlands. And you know what? If that's the case, then I'm all for it. You know, I'm really interested to see where Rage 2 goes. Hopefully it gains more traction than the first one, and hopefully it it ends off better than the first one as well. And I was really, really, really excited to see a new Devil May Cry trailer. Devil May Cry 5. It really looks interesting. It has different engine, more of the same over-the-top combat. Reminds me of Platinum games. A lot of Platinum games do that. And I'm glad to see that another proper Devil May Cry. Now I'm not knocking on the Devil May Cry reboot, because let's just face it, they tried it, it didn't work, and now they're going back to the original, I guess the original format with just updated graphics. I'm really glad that they're deciding to go down this route. Now, I played Devil May Cry 4, but it didn't really stand out, so I have to pretty much go back and refresh my memory as to what happened. So we'll definitely see where Devil May Cry 5, Devil May Cry 5 can take us. You know, and those were some of the trailers that stood out to me. And I'm convinced, and I'm really happy to see that 2019 is starting to shape up just as good as 2018. I'm still a little bit concerned because it doesn't seem like there's that many exclusives, but you know what? Give them time. There was I know PlayStation already had 2 exclusives. Xbox, I believe, had 1, maybe 2. So, you know what? I'm not really all too worried about it. We'll see. We'll definitely see how it unfolds. But it was definitely a very, very, very good Video Game Awards. I'm still a little taken back that there was no, I would have to say, mic drop moment. No, oh, wait, there's more. Or, you know, the lights would go out and there wasn't really one blockbuster announcement. But you know what? I'm pretty sure both Xbox, PlayStation, and even Nintendo Switch, they're holding their cards close to the chest and they're going to announce it at their shows. So I'm not really all too worried about that. Then again, I'm really happy that I got a chance to experience the Video Game Awards. It was really good. It was really entertaining. Some of the areas got a little rushed, but you know what? Jeff Keighley really did an amazing job putting the Video Game Awards together, and I commend him. He should definitely get an award for all the hard work that he has done. And you know what? I'm really looking forward to the next show, and I want to see which game next year takes home Game of the Year. We've come to that point of the episode where it's time to say our goodbyes, so go ahead and visit us on www.levelbasedgaming.com. Check us out on YouTube and podbean.com. My name is Felipe Prada, and I am out of here.